Hi guys, hope you had a good Easter break. Here's another video to help you with today's maths work.
You need to think about what is the closest 10, because what we're going to be doing is rounding to the closest 10. We're either going to go to the closest 10 above the number, or we're going to go to the closest 10 below the number. To do that, what we're going to be looking at is these unit columns. We're going to be rounding to the closest 10. The first one is 242, so it's either going to go up to the 10 above, which would be 250, or it's going to go down to 10 below, which would be 240. So let's have a think. Is it going to go up to 250 or down to 240? Well, to work that out, we need to know what the number in the middle between 240 and 250 is. It's going to be exactly in between these two numbers. These two numbers are 10 apart, so the number in the middle of them is going to be 5, because 5 is half of 10. So if it's 5 or more, we're going to round the number up to 250. Or if the unit column, that number on the end, our last number is 5 or less, we're going to round down to 240. So let's have a look. If it's more than 245, it would go up to 250. If it's less than 245, if it was less than that middle number, if it was less than 5, it would go down to 240. Well, it ends in a 2, which is less than 5. So it's going to have to go down to round. When we round that 242, it's going to go down to 240. Let's have a look at the next one, 591. You want to think about that units column. Is it more than the midway number? Is it more or less than 5? One is less than 5, so again, we're going to go down to the 10 below it. Before I write this down, I want you to have a think. If we're going down to the closest 10, what's the closest 10, multiple of 10 to 591? What's the closest multiple of 10? Have a think. Right, hopefully in your heads you thought 590 would be the closest 10. Let's have a look at the next one, 3021. Again, we're looking at that 1 in the units column. We want to think that it's less than 5. So again, we're going to go down. In your heads, have a think, what's this going to round to? If we go down to the closest 10, 3021 would be 3020. See if you've done that right in your head, because the closest multiple of 10 to 3021 would be 3020, because 20 is a multiple of 10. Right, next one. This time you might notice that the units column, we have an 8 in the units column. 8 is more than 5, it's greater than 5, so we're going to be rounding up to the next 10, to the closest 10, is going to be 4,578. Have a think in your heads, what might it be? It is going to be 4,580. We've gone up to the next 10 after 4,570. So the next, because it's above that 5, it's above the halfway point between 4,570 and 4,580. So we're going to go up to 4,580. Okay, the next bit of work is asking us to mark each number on the line. It says draw a line from the number to the nearest 10. So the numbers we've got are 2,571, 2,524, 2,566, 2,513, 2,542, and 2,585. And they're going to go on one of these intervals between the numbers 2,500 and 2,600. You should be able to see all of these numbers are between 2,500 and 2,600. Right, what I would do is, if I was trying to work out where they're going to go on the number line, is I would put them in order from largest to smallest. And to do that, we're going to look at the unit values, our place values. All of them start with 2000, so that's not going to help us. They all also have 5 in the hundreds, because they're all 2,500 and something, so that's not going to help us. What we're going to have to look at is our tens. So that has 70, 20, 60, 10, 40 and 80. So if we're going to start with our tens, is the smallest unit value. We've got 1 in the tens, so that's our smallest, 2,513. Our next smallest is going to be 2 in the tens column, 20, so 2,524. After that, it is going to be 4 in the tens column for 40, so 2,542. Then we're going to have 6 in the tens column, 2,566. And then 7 in the tens column for 70, 2,571. And finally 8 in the tens column over here for 80, 2,585. Right, now we've worked out which is the smallest, which is the largest. We should be able to mark them on these intervals here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 intervals and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 numbers. So the smallest, the one immediately after 2,500, it's going to be our first one here, 2,513. Our next one is going to be 2,524 because we worked out that was our next largest number. After that we're going to have 2,542. Then we've got 2,550 in the middle. After that we are going to have our next largest number we worked out is 2,566. Then we've got 2,571. And finally the last number for our last interval is going to be 2,585. So we've looked at how to put numbers of 4-digit value onto a number line. We're now going to look at how we can round some similar 4-digit numbers to the closest 10. So we're either going to round these to 2,340 if we're going to round them down, or if we decide we're going to round them up, the next one is going to be 2,350. So let's have a look at some numbers. Here are the numbers we're going to be looking at. Remember, you want to keep that in your mind, what we discussed earlier. If it is less than 5, it's going to round down. If it's more than 5, the number in the ones or the units column, it's going to round up. So the first one starts with a 9. That's obviously more than 5, so it's going to round up to 2,350. So let's put that number in this column here because it's going to round up. The middle number is 5, it's higher than that to 9, so it's going to round up. Right, let's look at our next one. Is 7 more or less than 5? It's more than 5, so it's going to round up to 2,350. So we're going to write that number in our rounding up column. 2,348 is also ends in a number more than 5, so that's going to round up. 2,341, however, well, 1 in the units column, that's less than 5, so that's going to round down to 2,340, and that makes sense if you think about it. 2,341 is much closer to 2,340 than it is to 2,350. It's only 1 away from 2,340, but it's 9 away from 2,350. Okay, we've got 4 more numbers to do. 2,343, that 3 ends in a number less than 5, so we're going to round it down. 2,342 also ends in a number less than 5. 2,344, again, ends in a number less than 5, so it's closer to 2,340 because 2,345 would be right bang in the middle, and it's less than that. And finally, as we said before, if it ends in a 5, if it's 5 or greater, it needs to be rounded up. So when you're deciding whether to round it down or rounding up, think about what the number in the middle would be. For these numbers, it would be 2,345. All of these numbers here are less than that middle number. They're all less than 2,345. And all of these numbers here, they're all more than that middle number. They're all more than 2,345. So we've rounded these ones up.
Hopefully that helped you with rounding 4-digit numbers to the nearest 10. If you have any problems with it or you get stuck, just send me a message on Seesaw and I'll try and help you out.